Hey guys, alright, today is another video on the Great Emu War. This time by OverSimplified. Now, as I established in the Salmonella version of the Emu War, it was a catastrophic, terrible war. Oh, tearing up just thinking about it. It cost so catastrophic to the world economy. It plunged. Honestly, I think the Emu War is the precursor to World War II. I think if the Emu War had not occurred, I think we could have avoided. Anyways, okay, enough of the jokes. And I don't know where to go from here. We're just gonna start the video. Yeah, just start the video.
Is Australia. For the man who imagines being strangled by a tarantula while a kangaroo breaks his kneecaps and thinks, yes, please.
Yeah, no, true, yeah. No, you'll never see me fucking going to Australia. Never. Nope, never gonna go.
Please. For the man who pictures himself being eaten by a snake in the burning outback while eating a Vegemite sandwich and thinks, yes, please. And that man was Governor Arthur Phillip, who landed in Eastern Australia in 1788, presumably saw a dingo being eaten.
Oh shit, we're getting the history of Australia too?
By a crocodile, being eaten by a death adder, being eaten by a koala, being eaten by Mel Gibson, and thought to himself,
Mel Gibson's a crazy man.
yes. Good.
Good, great.
Now I know what you're thinking. But oversimplified, the British didn't discover Australia, the Vikings did. And you'd be wrong. I'm not sure why
What?
you'd think that. But hey, if you love Vikings so much, then why don't you check out today's sponsor? Vikings War of Clans was inspired by the PC strategy and RPG in the description box.
Meanwhile, in New York... Oh boy, yep, Great Depression, okay. Here we go.
Buy! Man, this is great. The market will continue to grow forever. But what if it doesn't? Oh crap, I never thought of that. Sell!
Yes, oh my god. I mean, this is a perfect... kind of like, you know how... So there's this saying. I've heard this often. I don't know about how many others really hear it, though. It's some quote. I don't know who the hell said it, but it's like, democracy is the greatest opponent of democracy or something like that, right? Where, like, you know, I think it's self-explanatory. I've heard it so many times in my head that it sounds self-explanatory to me. But capitalism is kind of in the same way. I mean, this kind of thing is like, yes, we're doing great. We're doing amazing. We're making money. Money. And then all it takes is one person to panic and everyone else starts to panic. Because humans are stupid. And humans typically we are kind of, in a sense, we're pack animals. Mob mentality. The mob mentality plays a part in democracy. It's one of the fears that typically is associated with democracy. And it's also, in a sense, the reason why the Electoral College was established in America. One of the reasons is the fear of mob mentality. Don't want the mob to control the whole nation, right? And yeah, mob mentality plays a huge part in stock market crashes, because here in 1928, everything was fine, but then people started getting some sneaking suspicions that something bad was gonna happen, or they're like, some people were like, oh, this can't last forever, and well, yeah, it doesn't naturally. With the stock market or in capitalism, how it's supposed to work is you go up a little bit, then you dip down a little bit, have a recession, and then you go back up, and then another recession, then you just go back up. But if you look at it on the wider, if you look at it from the wider scale, it's going to generally go up. it is supposed to always be still going up. However, when you have high highs and low lows, like here in the Great Depression, what you'll see is skyrocket, and then it just absolutely tanks. And then it takes longer to have that general trend upwards continue, because now you got to recover from having such a high. So yeah, high highs in economies are bad. If you have a skyrocketing economy, you are going to be suffering a depression within the next couple of decades. That's typically how it goes. That's how it goes, because people, at a point, people will start to see that this can't last forever, and so they'll start selling. And then when people start seeing other people selling, they'll start selling because they want to minimize their losses. And then that freaks everyone else out who continue to sell. And then they start selling at a loss, and now they're bankrupt.
And the stock market
I think I explained that well
led to
enough.
Economic downturn, which meant banks wouldn't lend anyone any money, which led to more economic downturn, which meant everyone stopped buying stuff, which led to more economic downturn.
Yep.
And hey, what if all the crops in the Great Plains were destroyed in a drought, and then a big dust storm engulfed the area? That's right, more economic downturn.
Yes.
And in an effort to combat
No one talks about the role that the Dust Bowl played in the Great Depression. It played a huge role because the Great Plains make lots of food for the United States and the world as a whole. And I don't know how much at this time, because I think in the 1930s it was before the Green Revolution. I think the Green Revolution started in the 1950s, because there was an invention that allowed, I think pesticides or something, modern pesticides or something was made in the 1950s that helped food get grown at a much higher rate with less effort. I think it was the 1950s. It's been a while since I've heard this information, though. So be warned, I could be wrong with that. But yeah. Buying, if you don't buy, then people aren't selling things, so then they aren't making money. But since you can't afford to buy things, that means you aren't making money. And then because you aren't making money, you're not going to help other people make money, which means 2 people are losing. Multiple people are losing, because then that person is not able to sustain the economy by buying things themselves, because you're not buying from them. And it just becomes a whole mess of dominoes. And that is an economic downturn explained.
the crisis, America
Welcome.
began imposing tariffs on foreign imports, which made the economic downturn go global, and the earth got really
Yep.
depressed. But one nation that was hit harder than most by the whole affair, Australia. The problem for Australia was that it relied heavily on its export industries, and in the
Shrimps
current
throwing out
economic
the
climate,
parties.
no one was buying. To make things worse,
Yeah.
Australia had introduced its own currency and pegged it onto the gold standard via the British pound. But then the UK started messing with its own peg on the gold standard, and if this is starting to sound confusing, then let me oversimplify it for you. Hey UK, looks like my car's broken down. Want to give me a tow? No problem, friend. I got you.
Ah, Britain. You do so many great things, don't you? Oh. Okay, was
More
not
economic downturn. The point I'm trying to make is things weren't good, and in particular, it was Australia's farmers that were suffering most. After the
Yeah.
First World War, Australia had given returning veterans land for farming, but with the current
Ooh,
economic
nice.
crisis, the farmers just weren't making enough money, and many left to go find work in the cities. But for those who remained, things were about to get even worse. Before we get into that, it's time
Aw.
for some cultural exchange.
Ooh.
My national bird is the bald eagle. It's a strong patriotic symbol of America and a deeply valued and protected species.
You
My
said.
national bird is the peafowl. It's a beautiful creature whose vivid
is.
colors represent India, so we list it as a protected species. My
Nice.
national bird is the emu, and it's a pest. Also bloody delicious. Emus.
Wait,
6 feet
really? You can eat emus? Has anyone watching, have you ever had an emu? Is it good?
tall, 90 to 120 pounds, and
Jesus
able to run
Christ.
at speeds up to 40 miles per hour, usually return to the coast after their breeding season. But suddenly they found Western Australia full of lush, wet farmland. Oh my, look at all this delicious wheat that just so happens to be growing here in large quantities. Hey guys, get a load of this. You know, my, look at all this delicious wheat that just so happens to be growing here in large quantities. Oh yeah, that's really good. Oh yeah, every day. Hey, who left this big hole in the fence? Guys, get a load of this. Oh wow.
I was not expecting the bunnies.
What I am. Great. What a lovely morning for some farming. What? Those damned emus, they have it in for me. They're bullies. They're nothing but bullies. Calm down, Bruce. They're just animals. It's not personal. Hey, Farmer Bruce, where did you find that hat? The toilet? Yes. 20,000 emus cost the already struggling farmers millions more pounds in lost crops and damages. The situation couldn't continue like this. Something had to be done. So in 1932, the farmers turned to the government for help. You'd think they'd go to the Minister of Agriculture, but these farmers said no. This is a job for the military. So they went to George Pierce, the Minister of Defense. That's right. Australia was to go to war with the emus. But not everyone was happy with the idea. This is barbaric. We can't go slaughtering thousands of our own national bird. Oh, come on, guys. The machine guns will make it quick and painless. Machine guns? You're using machine guns? This is animal cruelty. Look, I know it's unusual, but it's not like we're poachers turning the birds into feather hats. Think of the benefits. It'll be good target practice for our boys. The government can show it took action. Plus, I can get myself a nice new feather hat. Did I say feather hat? I meant I want to gather chat with you about getting you all some nice new feather hats. Did I say feather hats? I meant I want to wage terror at these emus and turn them all into feather hats. Damn it. Of course, Pierce first made the farmers sign an agreement saying that they would pay for the whole thing and that Pierce wouldn't take any of the blame if the operation, that was clearly very stupid, turned out to indeed be stupid. And the operation went ahead. Major G.P.W. Meredith and his men were sent with 2 Lewis machine guns to hunt down and take out the evil emu population in Western Australia. Target spotted. Well, was it an emu? No, sir. It's an emo. Damn it, Jones. Learn your vowels. I'm sorry. Okay, it looks like the humans are coming for us. But check this out. I've come up with an amazing plan. See if you can follow me here, okay? When they approach, we run away. Sir?
Great plan.
You're a genius. Pierce sent the camera crew along with the machine gunners to capture some good old propaganda for the government. And the first battle took place in November at Campion. The men spotted a mob of emus from a distance, so they set up their guns and opened fire. The emus split up into smaller groups and ran in every direction. The men were only able to kill what they called a number of birds, but the vast majority got away. Cut! Surprisingly, many of the emus were able to take multiple bullets, but still run at full speed to safety, causing Meredith to compare them to tanks, saying if we had a military division with the bullet-carrying capacity of these birds, it would face any army in the world. Okay, we need to get closer. No, you idiots, not to me, to the emus. Oh, sorry. No. I like it. So next, they tried sneaking up on a large number of emus near a local dam and firing at short range. Maybe the men were just unlucky, but my professional opinion says the emus were magic, because both guns jammed after just 12 emus were killed, and once again, the rest got away.
That's magic.
Cut!
That's fucking magic. They're wizards. They're fucking sorcerers.
The men were feeling a little humiliated after losing to a pack of discount ostriches, so they decided to move further south, where the emus were said to be tamer. And this time, they had a new strategy. Okay, Jones, here's the plan. You mount the machine gun in the back, I'll chase the emus, you shoot. Got it? Got it.
Whee!
I'm gonna shove that camera up your... The operation was a fiasco, and the press had a
Emos
field
for
day.
emus.
In Parliament, Pierce was lambasted, and an opposition party member suggested that medals should be handed out to the emus, who had won every round so far. Pierce, feeling quite humiliated, called the operation off, but 4 days later, the farmers approached again and said, "Hey man, the emus are still eating all our crops. Can you send the army back out here?" And Pierce was like, "Yeah, okay." So the operation was back on for round 2. And this time Meredith and his men had learned the emus' guerrilla tactics and were much more successful, with reports suggesting the men were cutting down 300 emus every week. I hope you boys are getting great footage of this. What on earth are you filming? Despite the success, the media had lost interest in the whole thing. But with 1,000 emus killed, Pierce finally ended the operation and returned to Parliament declaring victory for the humans. So there were 20,000 emus out there destroying crops, and you've killed 1,000. Meaning there's still 19,000 emus out there. Yep. And in addition, you've burned through 10,000 rounds of ammunition. Meaning you wasted 10 rounds per confirmed kill. That's right. Yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and call this one for the emus. At least I got a feather hat. What? So in the end, the emus won the Great Emu War of 1932, and the emus continued to wreak havoc on the farmers for years to come.
I'm scared, Bruce.
The government introduced a bounty system, which saw some success. But for a moment, let's take some time to remember the brave men who said goodbye to their families and risked their lives to take on the great, evil emu population in Western Australia. But even more importantly, let's think of the friends they made, the bond they created, and the memories they shared.
I hope this isn't copyrighted. It probably is.
Hey, guys? I solved the emu crisis. Really? How? I just made some better fences.
OverSimplified's manager. Oh, fuck. That was good. I loved it. I don't know what else to say. The Emu War was a great tragedy on humankind. I hope we never live to see another war of its type again. But thank you for watching. I hope you guys enjoyed. Remember to leave a suggestion down below for what you want to see me react to next. As always, see you guys in the next video. Thank you.